Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. This video should have been out earlier this morning, but it was a rough day yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. I gotta drink my coffee too. Yesterday was Monday, and as you know, that's hospital duty for me on Mondays. Also, too, I gotta get all my orders out, so I'm usually rushing during lunch to get my orders over to the post office. Post office doing construction right now, so and everything were in big boxes. Everything was in boxes this week, or this past weekend, I should say. The weekend sales. Weekend sales are from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you ever hear anybody talking about, yeah, we did monster sales today on a Monday. They're talking on a Monday. We did monster sales on, today. We have like 50 orders going out, 60 orders going out. Just remember, that's over the course of 3 days. Well, that's if you ship next business day. Then it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anything you order on Friday will go out on Monday. If you have longer than that, then they could have even bigger monster days of of packing. Just for clarification, because a lot of people, and I know people that get a little confused, and they'll be watching people online. They'll be like, "Oh, so and so did this many sales that day," and that I know because I sell on eBay, so I know the rules and what goes on here. But Mondays, nonetheless, always crazy day. My hospital duty day. For those who don't know, if I do not work at least one day a week, they can force me to work whenever, and hospital is 24/7. So I like to choose what I like to do. I don't want to completely let go of the hospital because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the work. Um, it's just I don't want to be there all the time. Politics. That's the problem. But what do you think of the background? Cool. We just had a really cool full moon. It was really really close. You could see all the different craters. So cool little in the spirit of Halloween background here. And let me know what you think in the comments. I really don't like to bring up things here, talking points here. I want to just get straight to the what sold. But I just had a return this morning. Now, let me know about your guys' returns, any stories, horror stories on return, broken items. I believe I talked about the comb I got recently in the mail, and I was supposed to get a vintage brooch and earrings back, which never happened. That person got their money back through their bank or credit card company, whoever issues their card. I got a message from eBay. So returns, I generally will get any about three to four returns a month. And this month, knock on wood, of course, always knock on wood around here. Um, the This month was a little unusual because I only had one return, and as a matter of fact, they haven't even returned it yet. So we'll see about that. It's just a keyboard. They said they didn't want it anymore. So okay. Um, so I am waiting for that to come back. But in the meantime, I got another two more returns. Now, one return, um, return. I don't like returns. Nobody likes returns. No one. And you send it off, you don't want to have to worry about it. But sometimes, kind of sticks with you, and a few things like kind of just annoys you, because people don't have to lie. People don't have to lie around here, um, and and I have free returns, so you can just return it. You don't have to do anything really, But I think people feel the need to have to justify it, and you don't have to justify anything. I don't know if you've ever stood in line at Costco trying to return stuff. People just go in there and be like, return, return, return. Just do that. Just return. You don't have to say anything. Just return it. Don't give me some crazy story as to something that's wrong with it or something like that. And that's the case. Someone said something was wrong with the item I sent them. So yeah, I typically get about three or four returns. Let me know in the comments down below if what your average is as far as returns go. But this is not what they returned, but I had three of these, so I sent another one out yesterday as well too. So okay, so the complaint was, well, first of all, they sent it back, and they sent it back as does not fit. So some people that know the system, they will send items back as broken or not working, because then you have to refund them everything back automatically, no matter what. And people know the system, and people will do that. If they just want their return. Now, there's a couple of a couple of strange, or I should say, common characteristics with returners. I guess there's those ones that will, they get the item immediately, and that's what happened with this piece. Well, not this one specifically, but the exact one like this. They get it in the mail, and then immediately, boom, a return is opened. I'm like, what? And so when the return opened, I quickly go in there and I just look at the order history when it was delivered, and sure enough, this was delivered about 10 minutes before it was delivered 10 minutes, and afterwards the return was started immediately. I'm like, dang, like, what the heck? Um, there are those people, and those ones tend to return everything, and usually they didn't even open the box or the package or anything like that. They just immediately got it and boom, sent it back almost instantly, never removed, nothing like that. And then you get the people that don't really want to return it, but they'll be like, I kind of like it, or it's kind of not working, or it's not really the color I liked, or it's the color didn't show right in the pictures, and then they'll sit there for a while waiting for you to say something like, okay, well, how about I give you 50% back. Typically, I will say, and my advice would be, just tell them to return it. Return it, and I'll give you a full refund. And then it'll go like a week or two, and all of a sudden, boom, return will be started. And then sometimes it comes back, sometimes it doesn't. Don't know about that. But the ones that really, really kind of annoy me are, like I said in the first part, are the ones that the moment the item gets delivered, boom, return is opened immediately. So that's more than likely a buyer's remorse, or they got it and like, yeah, you know what, I didn't really feel like, I don't even know why I ordered it or whatever. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't do that many. I rarely do returns. Um, if I feel like the item, okay, like my water, I have a water dispenser. I get water delivered through Costco, and I buy the dispenser at Costco. Initially, I did that because I didn't want to rent one. I didn't want to pay an additional monthly charge to rent a dispenser when I could just pay $150 or $200 and just get a dispenser outright. That should work hopefully for some time. So I got the dispenser, and the first one I got broke after a year, and then I'll take it back to Costco and got another one. The other one lasted only about 5 months, and it started leaking. And I'm like, ah. So I took it back to Costco. It's kind of annoying. I mean, for me, it's annoying to do a return. I really don't like it. When I'm buying something, I'm buying it, and I want it to last. That's at least last several years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And so this one I got now. So I'm on my third since I've been with Costco as far as their water delivery service. This is my third water dispenser, and it's working great. No problems, no issues, anything like that. Um, so I will take some. I will buy some at Costco, because of their return policy, and because, I know that I have that assurance that if it breaks, if anything happens to it, obviously if it's my fault, I typically, I had a toaster oven, and I was like, I could return this toaster oven. I accidentally broke it, and I was like, I could return it, but I never did. I was like, nah, no, it was my fault, whatever. I don't do frivolous returns at all. Basically, because I sell stuff online, I deal with this problem, so I don't like the problem, and I don't want to be a part of the problem. But okay, so the issue is they said, um, this thing smells of cigarette smoke. No, returning it. I'm like, what the cigarette smoke? So first of all, I think I mentioned this before. I have COPD, asthma, breathing issues. I'm allergic to everything inside the house. I'm allergic to everything outside the house. So, they do the pricks on your arm. I don't know what they do now. I wonder if they still do that or not. They do the pricks on your arm, and cats are one of my biggest allergies. So I can never have cats. I like cats, but I can never have cats. Um, but so I am very sensitive to smells and everything like that. It doesn't necessarily offend me or anything. I mean, I won't be like, oh my god, I'm not going there because I've tried. Working at a hospital. It's crazy. You'll have people. I remember one time specifically, someone came into our office, and like the department. And immediately they're like, "Oh my god, what is that smell? I can't stand it in here. This place stinks. Someone's perfume." I'm like they made this huge ordeal over a and then we get email, about a month or two later saying, please do not wear any perfumes, don't wear this, don't do air freshener, don't do this, inside patient areas. I'm like, because one person supposedly was basically overreacting, in my opinion. So, if this smells this way, these all came from the same, flea market, same place. They were all inside a box. 3 of them here. They're Christmas ornaments. Thomas, I'm I don't think it's Panicotti, but it looks like Panicotti to me. This is the last name. Well, let's open this. They're really cool. They're just little glass ornaments, little collections. So we'll open it up. This is how it comes. Christmas Carol. As you can see, this is just a picture of the ornaments, of what's in there. They're glass ornaments. Take that off there. And just really cool, really nicely decorated glass glittery ornaments. So really cool. So let's see. This came from the one I sent out. Got these all the same place. There's nothing. I mean, there's like wood. You can smell the wood, and it just smells like wood. I don't smell a darn thing. Now, I don't want to get glitter on my hands, but maybe if I lift it up, maybe behind it. I don't know. Was the postal worker smoking in his car and getting all the packages smoky? I do know a postal worker that does smoke, but he smokes outside. He doesn't smoke in his vehicle. I never see him. I don't think they can. Nope. There is no smoke other than the wood. It smells like wood. It smells like wood. It's real wood. Yeah, it just smells like wood. Kind of smells like almost like a number 2 pencil almost, or like pencil wood. But that's all it is. It's just wood. I mean, I don't smell anything else. And trust me, I don't sell anything with smoke smell. If it has a smoke smell, I will not sell it at all. There are some tips and tricks you can do, which I've tested it out before. I did the one that works the best is, and I bought it knowing it smelled like smoke because I wanted it for myself. It was a those back massagers you put around your neck and you kind of hold it here, but it was wireless. It was rechargeable, I should say. It was a rechargeable one, which is I was looking for. I don't like being tied to the cord when I'm trying to massage my neck. And that one was from a smoker, but I was buying it for myself. I was not going to sell it. And what I did was, so the trick that I used to get the smoke out of there, I put a bunch of coffee beans. I had, coffee beans. I drink a lot of coffee here. And I put them inside, I use these dryer bags for shoes and, little things that I want to wash in the dryer. I mean, the washer. And so they're porous, and I put a bunch of coffee beans in there, and then I put the massager in a bag and wrapped it, sealed it closed. I left it there for about a week. Took it out. The smoke smell was gone. It smelled like coffee. And then about a week later, the coffee smell was gone, and it just didn't smell like anything. So I was like, great. There was one part I was able to wash, which was kind of like there was a little felt part that actually went against your skin. For the massagers, and so I was able to wash that one, which was great. But the other part, it's mechanical. I couldn't throw the thing in the washer. But the coffee beans bag, left it there for a week, sealed bag, and they took it out. Smelled like coffee, and after about a week, the coffee smell went away. So that was cool. All right, so no smoke smell there. So I hope I get it back quickly. So I can quickly get it relisted and sold again because it's Christmas ornaments. If they return it. So. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the what sold here part of the video. And first thing here. Whoa, that got really big. Okay, let me that down. I gotta remember how to keep the screen. I always forget because I never really use that feature. You know, when you open an item in Windows and it keeps the original like window shape that you set it at. I forgot how to do that. I gotta remember how to do it because I don't ever do it. You know, sometimes you take those tests like uh I know at the hospital they have like you know additional trainings for like Windows, Excel. They offer all this stuff. You know, you can go on there and try to. It's called a learning. It's a learning portal, and you can go learn different things on there. And you know, I popped in there one time to try to do Excel. And I'm like, what the? We don't use any of these features at the. We don't even use Excel at the. Well, some people use Excel at the hospital, but the features that they want you, that this learning thing goes over has nothing to do with the hospital. It's crazy, but okay. Barware. I do sell a lot of barware. I sell a lot of like wine stoppers, things like that. I've talked about wine markers before. Those do really well. I just sold recently a whole barware set. And I won't buy everything barware because not everything barware isn't necessarily good. There was like a barware set, bottle openers, mixers, strainers that I picked up. It was a Godinger, which I typically don't pick up Godinger. It doesn't go for that well, but it was a great price, complete set, and it sold really well. Shakers. Some shakers can do really well. Most do not. Don't pick up the Grey Goose one. You know, if you pick up a Grey Goose, you want to get for $1 or less. They do okay, but they're fairly common. Uh, this shaker is really cool. Had like a mesh around its glass and had a cool stainless steel mesh around it. Really nice. I found two of these at the same time. I already sold one for 40. This one sold for. I had to Google image it too to get that name as well because I was like, oh man, this is way too unique. I'm pretty sure I could Google image this and it would come up for me. And sure enough, it did. It did. It came up. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Mercuria Covocos. It's really cool though. It's a really cool shaker. I would really never use it. I don't mix that many drinks. Okay, $35 and $8.31 to ship it. This is definitely a 2 pound item. Another thing that occurred on Monday, or I should say over the weekend, everything was about, was just over 1 pound. So you automatically have to round up to 2 pounds. So in that 2 pound range of an item is with packaging material and everything, 2 pounds. If it falls 1 pound, 5 ounces, 1 pound, 1 ounce, you still got to round up to 2 pounds. So everything that went 2 pounds, I generally don't make anything on the shipping. And I'd say that 80% of the items that went out, maybe more than that, were all 2 pounds. So I really didn't make anything on the shipping. Not necessarily that it's, you're supposed to, but I kind of build that in there to most of my packages to try to offset the cost of shipping supplies. And if it's over 2 pounds, generally I will make some money. If it's under a pound, I will make some money. Right at that 1 to 2 pound rate, especially now that they I don't really want to raise my what I do is I raise the weight to adjust the price. I really don't want to do that because I still want to be competitive and still try to have a great shipping rate, to compete with other people that are out there. So I don't want to really raise it. But if it's 2 pounds, I'm not making any money on shipping. So just a side note on that. This was 2 pounds, so this will ship for 2 pounds. Gone a 12 by 8 by 6 box, and $8.31 is what the shipping cost. So really cool. $35. Um, cool, really cool barware. Vintage. Yeah, like I said, I got the name off Google Imaging. Cocktail shaker, mixer, barware, and I put industrial style because when I saw it and initially picked it up, that's immediately what I thought. It's got that, that steel, that cold steel, rubber, industrial looking kind of look to it. So, and it sold. I sold two of them already. I don't know if I featured that in the video or not. If I did feature it in the video, I should not have featured it here, but I don't remember. Okay. What is next? Next is, let me close that one out, and then Legos. I sell a lot of Legos. I pick up a lot of Legos. Legos are not a necessarily anything, as far as what sells. Everybody knows. I think everybody knows that Legos sell. Lego sells. It's not Legos. It's Lego. Um, or you would say Lego sets. You generally would not put the S next to Lego. It's just Lego. So Lego sets, Lego pieces, Lego minifigures do incredibly well, and they sell well on eBay. These are complete sealed sets. However, one thing I don't do, I don't collect creator series. I don't really pay attention to the creator series or the city series. It's something I just leave behind. And typically, this would be something I would have left behind, these creator series. But I looked at it, and the train kind of gave me some Christmas vibe to it. So I'm like, okay, it's got a Christmas vibe. They were $2.59 a piece. I got 5 of them, and I'm like, all right, I'll pick them up. I'll throw them in the cart. That's what I'll do, and I'll look them up. I'll see if not, worst case scenario, I can give them out as gifts. Because they're brand new sealed. Lo and behold, I did not know this was a retired set, and this was back in 2014 was when this set originally came out, and it goes for $20 a set. I'm like, what? A Lego Creator? I don't pay attention. Like I said, I don't pay attention to Lego Creator. I don't pay attention to Lego City. I mean, I look at it, but I don't actively buy them or look out for them or collect them. I pretty much stick to Star Wars, cool Marvel figure, any other cool, unique figures. City sets, creator sets, they don't really have any necessarily interesting or cool figures, in my opinion. They're pretty generic. And these tiny sets, I would definitely leave this behind at a Target or a Walmart. I wouldn't even bother looking at this. But they were $2 something cents. Sell for $20. Easy to ship. Tiny little box. And I'm like, all right, I've already sold 2 of them already. So that's pretty good. Lego Creator 3-in-1, the Emerald Express. Thomas the Train. If it is retired, put retired in the title. You can look this up online. Just type in the set number, and it'll tell you if it's retired or not. And I threw Railroad because, it's a good keyword to use for train sets, train anything. And then it's green. So really cool. Be on the lookout for these retired Lego sets, even these tiny ones. I would have just left this behind typically, but something in my brain, that sixth sense, was telling me, take a second look at these. Put these in your cart. Look these up. Typically, these are a leave behind for me. But something was telling me, get these, put these in the cart, and I did it. So, that's cool. All right, let's see here. Where's my close that one out, and then okay, here we go. Now this is definitely something I would not recommend people picking up used. Not unless you know what you're doing. You can test these out, but this is a computer motherboard, and this was brand new. Now brand new, you could definitely buy this and sell this brand new. You don't have to have any expertise. You can easily look this up on eBay to see what it goes for. But if it's brand new, you don't have to test it or anything. It's brand new sealed. Nothing you have to really do about it. You could potentially be broken on the inside, or it could be DOA, dead on arrival. You don't know, but it's completely sealed brand new. So I sold it sealed brand new. I could have opened it and tested it, but I didn't. I was like, hey, yeah, it's brand new sealed. So for, I didn't even tell you what the Lego set sold for, huh? Like I said, $20, $5.07 shipping. I did say $5.07 shipping. This goes in a poly bag. You wrap it about 4 times in bubble wrap, so the thing doesn't get smashed or the box doesn't get dents or anything like that. And 4 wraps of bubble wrap around something like this small, Lego set small, piece of cake will go perfectly fine. This one too also went in one of my larger padded poly bags. It's in its own box. It's in these boxes for motherboards are fairly sturdy, and usually 3 wraps in bubble wrap. Throw it in there, it's good to go. So this is an Intel. This is an old, and this is what would be considered. I've talked about this before. This would be what's considered ancient history in computer terms. This is not even antique. This is probably antique or ancient. This is ancient. Ancient in computer terms. This is the LGA 775. What LGA 775 stands for is the line grid array, if I remember correctly. It is the land grid array. I should be remembering these things, but I don't. Uh, Land grid array, and what it basically means is that chips typically, used to all have pins on the bottom, and you plug them into your motherboard. Well, the LGAs is the opposite. The board has the pins, and the processor has the little pads the pins make contact with. So it's just reverse. Intel's been doing this for a little while. AMD just started doing this. So, but this is old. This is old. I remember this platform was really not necessarily. I would probably say revolutionary for Intel. Just really, really ushered them into a new era, and they kind of took the crown as far as the processor um, top processors on the market. And this LG 775 was just pretty revolutionary. Everybody, when this came out, um, yeah, I was involved in gaming, everything else, but primarily gaming focused. This is what you wanted. You wanted the LG 775. We were all converting off of AMD, which AMD held the crown, but they kind of slipped up a little bit with their FX series, which they were AMD did kind of take the crown initially when we started seeing multi-core processors, your dual core processors, um, and then they slipped up big time, and then Intel came in. These chipsets that are the chips that went on these boards, the processors that went on these boards, were initially for mobile, for laptop. They were able to scale it up to desktop level. This is the platform it was on, and they had several years of just great hardware. And however, they've slipped up recently, which is why their company isn't doing that well at the moment. They've really had a lot of issues manufacturing wise. They took forever to get onto a new manufacturing process, and it just wasn't working. AMD is already taking the football and run with it. So really cool. Okay, that I can go on talking more and more about that, but LG Intel motherboard, brand new Q35. All this stuff is on the box. All the stuff I'm putting here is on the box, and this will help get it sold. This will not only support the Duo, so the dual core processors, but quad core processors as well too. Which nowadays it's not really dual core, quad core, 8 core. These things were revolutionary, evolutionary back in the day. Um, and then M to ATX. So ATX is the standard, like when they say ATX, that's the motherboard is an ATX standard, so it fit into ATX cases, which is fairly common. The standard ATX it's a little bit like longer. This is a little square, and so it's a little more rectangular for ATX. So MATX or micro ATX is what this one is. So it's smaller, square shape. So it fits in smaller cases, smaller different use cases for this type of standard as well too. There is ITX as well. There's a BTX as well too. So lots of different weird things. But ATX is primarily the standard. Then MATX would probably be the secondary. Like I said, I can go on and on, but I'm not gonna bore you. This is not a computer channel. We resell. Okay, how long is this video? I feel like it's going a bit longer. Um, Now, vintage phones. I've talked about vintage phones before, but this is a vintage phone and alarm clock combo. Oh, I didn't. I'm skipping some things. I'm going off on tangents. I'm skipping. So for the Intel motherboard, $11.89 is what it shipped. Sold for $80 and shipped for $11.89. And that actually went in an oversized poly bag. I wrapped it, like I said, 3 times in bubble wrap, and I put it in an oversized poly bag. Where's this one at? Okay, let me get this one set up so I don't forget. Where are you at? Where are you at? Let me just type this. It's nowhere in here. It's not in it. Where is it at? There we go. $35.78 is what this sold for. It shipped for $14.49. These holiday shipping rates are wild. Um, it'll go down January 19th. It will return, but be prepared. There will be a raise next year as well too. But vintage phones do incredibly well. Vintage touch tone phones do incredible. I pick them up all the time. They're a great price. Generally around $5-ish or less is a good price for these vintage phones. They sell relatively quickly. This was a unique alarm clock phone combo. Pierre Cardin. I don't know if I pronounced that properly, but I have sold the pens before. I don't recommend it unless you get a dirt cheap. But they do have pens as well too. They do a few other things. But this was really cool. Testing and working. Touchtone phones. Keep your eye out for them. Alarm clocks still sell well. The Sony. What do they call the Sony Dream Machines? If you do find them, they do okay. Right around $12 to $15. So you don't want to spend too much. You definitely want to spend at least $1 or $2 if you're at a flea market, garage sale. If you're at the Goodwill, I generally see them for around $4 to $5, so I don't pick them up. But if I do find them for around $3-ish, I will. But I would recommend $1 or $2 just picking them up. They will sell for around 12 to 15 bucks. But this one really cool. If you do find this one out there, $35 is what it's sold for. Cool. I mean, it's really cool. Vintage retro. I get Miami Vice vibes from it. Touchtone beige, electronic, 80s. All the great keywords there. Telephone. I didn't put a phone in there because I didn't have any room. I felt the other words, I could have probably took out vintage. I mentioned that before, how the word vintage is really getting tossed around way too much nowadays, and I'm trying to move away from it where applicable. Okay, let's get rid of that one. And then the last item here is another cool item I definitely recommend picking up if you find them. And not just Winnie the Pooh Disney books, baby books, but baby books oh, that disappeared. Baby books in general, or scrapbooks, or photo books of your for your baby, your children. People still do this. A lot of people are. Everybody's like, take pictures, upload them to the cloud, and all that, creating these digital hard copies of things are still out there. People are still doing photos. You'll see there's those Insta photos. Those new ones. I forget what they call it, like Fuji films. Those ones still sell incredibly well. People still use them, take them. I see them at my kids' schools. My daughter still talks about them, and uses them. Just hard copies of things are still around. People still like to have them, and these baby books, still do incredibly well. This one did really well because it is Winnie the Pooh themed, Disney themed. Definitely you can find them. Make sure they're not used. Because obviously these are meant to be written in. This was completely unused, so really cool. Let's see, this one sold for quite a bit actually. I think it's over 35 as well. No, 27. $27 what it sold for. $10.42 is what the shipping cost will be. This also went in an oversized padded poly mailer, but really cool. It definitely went for a bit more because it's Winnie the Pooh. However, generally for the most part, they'll be around like just generic blank ones. Now we're talking vintage here. I don't really find too many brand new ones, probably because I don't know. Maybe they just don't make them anymore. Maybe they're floating around on Amazon. But I see a lot of these older ones, 90s, 80s, some early 2000s stuff, and I will pick them up because typically they're really really cheap, around $1 or $2, and I know that they'll sell for around 15-ish dollars, $20, depending on the size and how well it's made, depending on what's on the actual book. This one's sold closer to $30 because it's Winnie the Pooh and Disney, brand new, unused, made in you see the made in the USA. If it says made in the USA, I'm putting that in the title, made in the USA. If I don't have enough room for all that, I'll put USA in there. Disney, Winnie the Pooh, baby memory book, scrapbook. Scrapbook is another great keyword for these photo albums. Is throwing scrapbook. People still scrapbook. It's incredible. It's something that just has never really, from what I see, has never really gone out of style. I know a lot of people that still do scrapbooking and everything. So keep her out for these things. Do really well. Disney, anything like that, pop culture, anything, pick them up. Get them fairly cheap if you can. I mean, this one you could probably pay up a little bit more, five, six, $7, but it's still pretty good. I wouldn't pay much more than that for this type of an item, but really cool photo albums for babies. Not necessarily family ones, but your babies, like your firstborn, your early year, not necessarily firstborn, but early year photo books, scrapbooks, because people are still having babies. So that's it. That is it. Those are the ones sold. Those are my talking points. It might be a little bit of a longer video than I typically would, but still kind of early for me. Drinking my coffee still. This is a Dolly Parton mug. One of my favorite songs is Jolene. So, all right, everybody. Catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment down below, and hit the bell notification.